The new drop-top version of Aston Martin's flagship DB12 is stupendous. Fast, loud, agile, and so beautiful it will make your soul ache. It is, in every sense of the overused word, an awesome car. What's wrong with the 2024 Aston Martin DB12 Volante may well stem from a shift in Aston Martin's direction. The company no longer wishes to be seen as a competitor for Germanic Brits Rolls-Royce and Bentley. Instead, it has set its sights southeast to Italy. New targets acquired, the supercars of Ferrari and Lamborghini. This seems to explain the biggest potential problem with the DB12 Volante, which is its rock-hard ride. Now, one of the things that makes the DB12 so stupendously awesome is that it puts that rock-hard ride to excellent use. The purpose of a stiff suspension is to keep the tires firmly on the ground so they don't lose traction, and holy hell does the new DB12 Volante do that. We can tell a lot about a car by where the manufacturer takes us to drive it. If the press preview is on the aero-straight roads of Miami, you can bet the suspension sucks. If it's in Phoenix, where there are still a couple of curves left over from World War II, it's not much better. Aston had us pick up the DB12 in Santa Monica, California, and directed us to go west on Pacific Coast Highway, then turn up into the hills above Malibu, where some of the best twisty roads in the country are there to be mastered. You know the roads, we were told. Go where you want. Be back in 3 hours and try not to bend up the cars. Point being, any PR pro worth the salt in their own tears only turns car critics like us loose on roads like that if they know their car is going to perform. And perform the DB12 Volante did. With 671 horsepower and 590 lb-ft of torque on tap from the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8. Basically the same mill found in the DBX707, your choice of gear in the ZF 8-speed automatic is irrelevant. There is no sweet spot, no noticeable turbo lag. There is only power, raw and brutish, the force times distance analog to freshly killed red meat. We chose to use the paddle shifters only because accessing the upper rev band releases an almighty bellow that is a wonder to experience. Praise be to the chorus of trombones and tubas apparently hidden away in the DB12's back bumper. And when do those guys and gals take a breath? That's not to say the transmission sport program isn't good enough. Though if Aston is serious about this Lambo/Ferrari thing, it should think about a twin-clutch transmission. Full throttle shifts from the ZF 8-speed automatic are harsh. Like all good transmissions, it does not downshift until the accelerator pedal moves at least some distance from the top of its travel, and doing so unleashes speed that builds quickly into license losing, and, on Malibu's curvy roads, Aston and life-losing range. You can make remarkably quick progress with the accelerator merely cracked and the engine loafing just above idle. It is during this speeding, be it stealthy or bellowy, that you appreciate the benefits of that solid riding suspension. As the Aston PR rep said, we know these roads, and we know where to find the bumpy curves that will try to loosen a car's grip on the pavement and divert it from its intended path. Not in the DB12. When it sets its mind to keep its tires on the ground, nothing short of God driving a Liebherr crane could reduce those contact patches. But here's the thing. We observed this classically good racing behavior even before we engaged the 2024 Aston Martin DB12 Volante Sport Mode. In its softest setting, labeled GT, this Aston will still hand most performance cars their own rear diffusers on a 24-karat gold platter. Turning the drive mode dial to sport merely increases the speed necessary to break the tires loose, from suicidal to homicidal. Sport plus ups that further to genocidal. This is not necessarily a bad thing. It bodes well for the DB12 Volante's performance on a track, though you would think the coupe is better suited to that environment. But while the chassis setup and engine power are that of a supercar, the rest of the convertible is a grand tourer. Well, everything except the brakes, which have solid bite and a firm feel like classic non-assisted performance binders. Don't change that, Aston, whatever you do. But take, say, the steering, which is delightful. The DB12 tracks as straight as the proverbial arrow, and yet it takes inputs perfectly, responding instantly but not suddenly. The DB12 runs through the curves as if by telepathy, and as wide as the car is, it feels tidy and easy to place. This is not the hyper-responsive steering of a supercar. It's the balanced, no-compromise steering of a magnificent GT.